was really funny because all the things that I'd called in for myself, all the things that I'd sat down and really thought what I would like for myself last year happened. And it happened because I just let go. And, you know, it was, you got to think, I moved house in the end of March. And then we went into April and I was about to announce my charity number. Then Deb told us she was not going to have long left. So I spent most of the summer essentially waiting for my friend to die, which was horrific. So then I stopped doing much work because I didn't know what was going to happen the next. So I didn't want to take on a lot of commitment, you know, understandably. But then it meant I wasn't earning. So I was at a point where I was putting food shop on my credit card. It was like that. I wasn't able to do that kind of thing. I was really, normally the way I react to emotional trauma is I do. So I guess where the burnout comes from, I throw myself into something, whether it be work, whether it be men, whether it be drink. Do you know what I mean? Holidays, spending when I don't need to be spending. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll throw myself into a project. Like, I'll spend all this money doing up the living room. What are you doing? No, you don't need to do that. So I didn't do that for the first time in my life because I'd realised the year before when I'd burnt out that is what I do and it's not good. And this time I just went, no, everything stops. I need to really just deal with this because this is huge. And in doing that, by the time, you know, we'd buried Deb and things were happening and I was able to really live in the grief. The back end of last year, there was loads of little changes I made that have made the greatest impact because I was so centered I could hear what I needed. So like I changed my management, which is, I'm so happy. Like I made that decision. I got Raymond, my dog. I started my driving lessons. Like all these little things I wanted for myself. I had the space to go, okay, now's the right time. Whereas before I would have tried to rush to do them all earlier in the year to overcompensate because I was in so much pain. So it was a domino effect because I spent a lot of time, just me at home, dealing with the loss of someone I loved and the whole media storm that was around it and just allowing myself to exist rather than trying to do. And that was, I still can't believe I managed to do it because that's not my go-to. But it was the best thing ever because, you know, I'm not saying I definitely haven't dealt with losing my friend, but I stopped myself from spiraling and I can't remember the last time I was able to do that. So that's positive. So I think the house was a bit of a domino in that respect, that it gave me the space.
It's interesting the term you use or the way you described it of like you were so centered you could actually hear what you needed to do.
Yeah.
Which I think is really interesting for somebody who has talked about being creative and needing all of this, like actually to be still and not frustrated or looking for where to put the energy and actually sort of sending it inward.
But it's because the answer's normally right in front of you. It's like, if you're not happy, if you want this thing, like sit back a minute and just like take a breath. Like, what do you need to do to make this better? And it's not that big a solution 9 times out of 10. You know what I mean? I wasn't getting the work that I wanted and I wasn't quite happy with where my career was going. And I was like, well, I want something different now. I don't want to be cancer face. And so I was like, do you know what? Let me speak to some other people. And all it was starting conversations. Then I met with the agency that I'm with now and I love and things are moving in the right direction. But it was that very centre thing. It wasn't going back to my old agency and being like, we need to be doing this, we need to be doing that. I just realised I was like, I need something new because this is a new phase. It was just, yeah, it's amazing. Like I've never been able to hear myself that clearly before, but, and it was just little decisions that got me to where I needed to be in the end. I just trust the process.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what happens when you actually listen to yourself.